They both hunt in the dark. They both wear their past as armor. And they both live by a code that the world can barely understand. One protects the weak. The other protects the foundling. Both are legends whispered across galaxies. Batman, the Mandalorian. What happens when two of the greatest warriors from two different worlds cross paths? When Gotham's Dark Knight meets the lone Mandalorian from a galaxy far, far away. This is where their story begins. It started on a night that didn't belong to either of them. A night without stars. A night when universes bled together. In the heart of Gotham City, Batman tracked a signal that didn't exist in any of his systems. A pulse of energy, alien, powerful, ancient. Something that didn't belong to this world. The Batcomputer couldn't identify it. Not Kryptonian. Not Apocalyptian. Something else entirely. He followed it to the city's outskirts, to an abandoned aerospace facility. And that's where he saw it. A ship unlike any other. Sleek. Silent. Marked with strange glyphs. The Razor Crest. Batman's eyes narrowed. A hunter's ship. But from where? Inside the ship, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, adjusted his armor, scanning through data logs. His tracker had followed a bounty to this planet. A fugitive carrying tech stolen from Imperial remnants. He wasn't here to conquer. He was here to collect. His sensors picked up movement, quiet, precise, almost invisible. Someone was watching. The Mandalorian turned, rifle ready. But there was no one. Only the faint flutter of wings in the shadows above. Then, the voice. Low, calm, controlled. You're far from home. The Mandalorian's visor turned. Who are you? The one asking questions. From the darkness stepped Batman. Cape flowing like smoke. Eyes glowing white beneath the cowl. Two warriors stood face to face. Two hunters. Two ghosts. The Mandalorian raised his rifle. Batman didn't flinch. That armor, Beskar alloy, strong, but not indestructible. You've done your research. They circled each other like predators. Neither striking first, both reading every motion, every breath. The silence stretched, heavy, dangerous. Then, an explosion ripped through the hangar. The bounty, a rogue ex-Imperial engineer, tried to escape with the stolen tech. And in that moment, both men moved. The Mandalorian fired first. A bolt of plasma slicing through the air. Batman threw a batarang mid-flight, deflecting the shot just enough to spark against steel. The engineer ducked behind crates, but Batman was faster. A blur of motion, his grapnel line snapping him forward. The Mandalorian followed, jetpack roaring to life, landing in his path. Blasters met smoke bombs. Flame met stealth. Technology met strategy. And in the chaos, the bounty escaped, vanishing deeper into Gotham's maze. The two warriors faced each other again, realizing, for the first time, they weren't enemies by chance. They were hunting the same prey. You want him alive, Batman said. Bounties pay more that way, Mando replied. Then we work together. A tense silence. Then a nod. A warrior's agreement. They moved through the city. One silent as a shadow, the other armored in Beskar. The people of Gotham stared as a metallic figure walked beside their protector. No one knew what to make of it. From rooftops to alleys, they tracked the fugitive. Batman analyzed patterns. Mando followed his tracker beacon. Two hunters. One mission. But in the distance, someone else watched. A familiar face from Gotham's underworld. Someone who saw opportunity in chaos. Deathstroke. He smiled beneath his mask. A bat. A bounty hunter. An alien tech worth billions. This could be fun. The trap was already set. The night deepened, and Gotham's heartbeat grew restless. Rain fell like static, coating the rooftops in silver. Somewhere beneath that storm, two of the galaxy's greatest hunters stalked the same prey. Batman and the Mandalorian, two men of discipline, two men of silence. Each step measured. Each breath controlled. One moved with the precision of a soldier. The other, the cunning of a predator. And both could sense it, they were being watched. From the shadow of a half-fallen clock tower, A single red lens glimmered. Deathstroke was already waiting. He wasn't after the bounty. He was after the prize they were chasing, the alien tech stolen from another galaxy. If sold to the right people, that tech could turn even Gotham's criminals into gods. And Slade Wilson wanted it for himself. On the streets below, the fugitive, the ex-Imperial engineer, ran, clutching a silver case that hummed with blue energy. He turned down a narrow alley, panting. Behind him, the sound of jet thrusters roared. Above him, a dark shape moved through the fog like a phantom. The Bat and the Mandalorian had closed in. The Mandalorian landed first, rifle raised. Batman dropped from the rooftop, cape sweeping around him like thunder. The fugitive froze, cornered between steel and darkness. "Give it up," Batman said. "You don't understand what this is," the fugitive screamed. "This tech could reshape galaxies." The Mandalorian's visor locked on the case. "Imperial Drive Core," he muttered. "Not from your world." Batman's voice was steady. "Then it doesn't belong here." The fugitive looked desperate. "You destroy it. You destroy everything connected to it." Before either could answer, the night shattered. A sniper round slammed into the wall beside them. Then another. Precision shots. Controlled bursts. Deathstroke. He stepped from the rooftop above, blade gleaming, voice like gravel. "You two make quite a pair. But I'll be taking that case." Batman's gauntlet flashed as he deflected a shot. The Mandalorian raised his blaster, firing toward the rooftop. Deathstroke moved with superhuman agility, dodging, firing, and cutting across lines like a dancer of death. Batman moved first, grappling up toward him, but Deathstroke's sword met him midair. Steel sparked against steel. Beskar met carbon fiber. Two assassins locked in perfect violence. Meanwhile, below, Mando shielded himself and the fugitive with his Beskar plate. Bullets ricocheted harmlessly. The fugitive clung to the case, trembling. Mando turned, voice low. "You're going to tell me what's inside." "It's not a weapon," the man gasped. "It's a door." Batman's gauntlet caught Deathstroke's wrist, twisting. The assassin smirked. "You think you can stop me, Bruce?" "I don't think. I know." But before Batman could finish his strike, Deathstroke hit a detonator. Explosions tore through the building. The rooftop collapsed. Batman fell, crashing through debris. The Mandalorian fired his grappling line to catch him mid-fall, but the shockwave threw them both into the streets below. The fugitive and the case were gone. Smoke rose from the wreckage. Mando groaned, checking his armor. "He's gone." Batman stood, eyes narrow beneath his cowl. "Not yet." He tapped his gauntlet, calling the Batmobile through the comms. Its engine roared in the distance. "You have a ship," Batman said. "You have the city," Mando replied. "Then we hunt from both sides." They moved, splitting directions, each one determined to reach the fugitive first. High above Gotham, the Mandalorian flew through the rain, using his helmet's infrared to scan the city grid. He found traces of the fugitive's heat signature heading toward the docks. He landed silently, following the trail to a warehouse. Inside, the hum of the drive core echoed like a heartbeat. The fugitive stood before a glowing portal, a swirling rift of light and static, pulsed with alien energy. Through it, fragments of stars flickered. A door between universes, just as he said. "It's not a weapon," he shouted to himself. "It's a bridge." Mando stepped forward, rifle ready. "Then close it." "I can't. It's open now, and it's bringing something through." Outside, the Batmobile screeched to a halt. Batman stepped out, scanning the same signal. But this time it wasn't just tech. It was life. Something alive, coming through the rift. He moved fast, faster than fear itself. Inside the warehouse, the portal expanded. Wind howled. Objects lifted into the air. And then it appeared. A massive shape stepped through. Metallic, silent, cold. An Imperial droid, reprogrammed for destruction, built from stolen alien parts. It turned its red eyes toward them. Mando fired. Blaster bolts bounced off its armor. Batman leaped forward, planting explosives. Nothing. It was adapting. The droid spoke in a monotone voice. Target. Eliminate. Retrieve energy source. They had seconds. Mando reached for his whistling birds. Small, guided rockets fired from his wrist. They detonated against the droid's chest, staggering it. Batman hurled a magnetic pulse grenade. Circuits flared. Smoke burst. The droid knelt, then stood again. Stronger. It's learning, Batman muttered. Suddenly, Deathstroke appeared behind them, smiling. I told you it was valuable. He fired a shot into the drive core. The portal flared brighter, growing unstable. Mando turned his visor toward Batman. You said this isn't your world? It's my city. That's enough. They charged, one with a grapnel, one with a jetpack. Batman swung from a collapsing beam, smashing his gauntlet into Deathstroke's helmet. The Mandalorian leapt over the droid, slicing cables with his vibroblade. The entire warehouse glowed with collapsing light. If that core detonates, it takes Gotham with it, Batman shouted. Then we end it here, Mando replied. And as the rift began to pull everything inward, debris, fire, metal, the Dark Knight and the Mandalorian made their final move. The warehouse was collapsing. The alien portal pulsed like a dying star, tearing the air apart. Every light flickered. Every sound twisted. And in that chaos stood Batman, the Mandalorian, and Deathstroke. Three shadows locked in a war that could decide not just Gotham's fate, but two universes. The Imperial droid rose again, smoke spilling from its chest. Its red eyes burned hotter, adapting, learning from every hit. Batman's EMP grenade was useless now. Mando's blasters only fueled its core. We need to overload it, Batman said through the roar of the wind. Overload it how? Mando asked, firing again. We feed it more power than it can contain. Deathstroke laughed as he reloaded his rifle. You're going to blow it up? Then you'll take half the city with it. Batman glared. That's why I'm not asking you to help. The Mandalorian fired his grappling line, wrapping it around the droid's arm, using his jetpack to yank the giant backward. The creature stumbled, crashing through the floor into the basement. Batman followed, cape slicing through dust and heat. Deathstroke stayed above, watching with that familiar predator's calm. Down below, sparks rained from exposed wires. The droid lumbered toward them, his hands ignited with plasma. Batman sprinted forward, using the shadows to confuse it. Mando fired flares, distracting its sensors. Together, they fought with perfect rhythm. When Batman struck, Mando covered. When Mando reloaded, Batman hit hard. It was chaos. It was control. Two codes. One mission. The droid caught Batman mid-leap, slamming him into a wall. Armor cracked. Pain flashed. But he didn't stop. Batman jammed a shock module into its chest, his final charge. Mando! Now! The Mandalorian switched to his pulse rifle, firing a direct surge into the module. Blue light erupted. A violent explosion of energy. The droid screamed in static. Its armor began to melt, core expanding like a sun about to die. It's going critical, Batman shouted. Mando lifted his arm. Then we send it back. Above them, Deathstroke grabbed the fugitive and the case, trying to drag him out. But the fugitive resisted, shouting, If it destabilizes, the rift consumes everything. Deathstroke snarled, Then close it! But it was too late. The rift pulled harder. Metal tore free from the walls. The Mandalorian fired his grappling hook toward Batman, catching him before the suction took him. Hold on! The Batmobile's autopilot roared outside, crashing through the warehouse doors. Its magnetic tether shot through the collapsing floor. Batman grabbed it with his gauntlet, anchoring both of them. The Imperial droid was dragged screaming into the light. The fugitive reached out, trying to control the case. It exploded in his hands. A blinding surge of energy swallowed the portal, and then silence. Smoke. The sound of fire slowly dying. The rift was gone. the warehouse half gone. And among the wreckage, the Batmobile, twisted but alive. Mando stood, armor scorched, cape torn. Batman leaned against debris, catching his breath. "It's over," Mando said. "Not for long," Batman replied. "He's still out there." Deathstroke was gone. Only his blade remained, driven into the floor, still warm from battle. They emerged into the dawn. Gotham's skyline was red with smoke, but the rain had stopped. The Mandalorian looked toward the horizon. "I've seen many worlds," he said quietly. "None like this." "It's not the world," Batman replied. "It's the people who survive it." The Mandalorian nodded. "Then maybe this city needs someone like you." Batman turned his gaze toward him. "Or someone like you." For a brief moment, the silence between them wasn't tension. It was respect. Two warriors bound by loss, by duty, by code. The Mandalorian stepped back, activating his jetpack. "The child is waiting," he said. "My path's not here." Batman simply nodded. "If you ever return," Mando's visor tilted toward him, "I'll know where to find you." With that, the bounty hunter rose into the fading dawn, a silver shape cutting across the city sky. The Bat watched until he vanished behind the clouds. Later, in the Batcave, the glow of the computer screens reflected off Batman's cowl. The recovered fragments of the alien drive core flickered on his table. He spoke quietly into the dark. "Alfred, analyze these readings." "Already processing, sir," the AI voice replied. "It appears the energy signature doesn't match anything in our dimension." Batman frowned. "Then someone opened that door before, and they might again." He looked up, at the silent cave around him, the endless shadows. The war was never truly over, only paused. Somewhere beyond Gotham, across the stars, the Mandalorian's ship drifted through hyperspace. Grogu slept in his pod. The Mando adjusted his controls, glancing once toward the dark corner of space where the rift once opened. It was gone. But something lingered, a trace of energy, like an echo of the Bat himself. And as the stars blurred around them, the bounty hunter whispered, "This is the way." Back in Gotham, lightning cracked again over the skyline. Batman stood on the highest tower, cape billowing against the storm. The city below glowed with fragile light. And far in the distance, carved into the side of an abandoned shipyard, was a single symbol burned into the metal. A Mandalorian crest. The war was over, but the legend had just begun.